When people picture wealth, they picture noise, new cars, designer logos, big announcements. But the folks who actually end up rich usually look ordinary. Same car, same jacket, coffee at home. They're not trying to impress anyone, they're quietly building options. That's the energy here. No hacks, no theatrics, just simple habits that run in the background until one day the numbers make sense. If you've wondered whether you're truly on track, don't look at what you're flashing. Look at what you're repeating. How you spend, how you save, how you learn, and how you stay calm when life gets loud. In this video, we'll walk through 7 signs you're on the path to real wealth, the kind that grows while life stays normal. If even a couple sound like you, you're closer than you think. Let's get into it. Sign 1. You choose growth over comfort daily. People quietly headed toward real wealth don't chase constant ease, they chase improvement. While most of the world unwinds, you'll catch them stealing 30 minutes for a chapter, a course module, or a skill rep. Not because it looks noble, but because they've noticed a pattern. Every new skill lowers future stress and raises future pay. When something goes wrong, they don't spiral. They do a quick post-mortem, adjust the process, and try again. Mentors, workshops, messy first drafts, none of it is glamorous, all of it compounds. It's not about becoming a machine. It's about choosing the slightly uncomfortable option often enough that your default changes. The show you skip becomes a certification. The scroll you skip becomes a pitch. Over a year, those tiny swaps stack into better offers, better opportunities, and a version of you that's more valuable on Monday than you were on Friday. If this sounds like you, even loosely, you're already ahead of the curve. And that mindset leads naturally to the next shift. When progress is in your hands, you stop blaming everything else. Up next, sign 2. You own the outcome. People who build real wealth stop outsourcing responsibility. They don't hand their future to the economy, their boss, or the news cycle. When something slips, missed promotion, slow month, surprise bill, they zoom in on the levers they can pull. Trim spend, increase savings rate, pitch 2 new clients, learn the tool everyone else avoids. The question isn't, why is this happening to me? It's, given this, what's my next best move? That small pivot, from blame to agency, quietly changes everything. Ownership shows up in money and in mindset. You know where your dollars go because you told them where to go. You took the course instead of waiting for company training. You asked for feedback, rewrote the resume, sent the follow-up. No drama, no grand declarations, just steady decisions that stack in your favor. And once you take the wheel like this, your time horizon gets longer and calmer by default. Which leads to the next shift. You start thinking in decades, not days. When most people chase the next hit, a refund, a bonus, a hot tip, you're planning what future you needs 5 or 10 years from now. You'd rather own something that appreciates than something that photographs well. That's why you pick a reliable car and invest the difference. Why you keep buying your index fund on boring weeks. Why you spend an hour learning a skill that'll still pay you in 3 jobs' time. Small, repeatable choices today become unfair advantages later. That's compounding on your money, your skills, and your reputation. Delayed gratification stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like strategy. You're okay skipping the shiny upgrade because you've seen what a calm buffer and steady contributions do over a few cycles. Your scoreboard isn't, what did I get this month? It's, how much more useful and better positioned am I this year than last? Thinking long-term makes the next move obvious. Give every dollar a role and a routine so the plan runs while life happens. Up next, sign 4. Your money has a job and a schedule. People who build real wealth don't hope to save at the end of the month. They assign every dollar a role at the start. Paycheck lands, and the script runs the same way each time. A slice to your cushion, a slice to investments, bills from a dedicated account, and the leftovers for life. No mental math at midnight. No, I'll catch up next month. It's boring on purpose, because boring is repeatable, and repeatable compounds. You track just enough to stay honest. Not a 400-category spreadsheet, just the big levers. Income, fixed costs, automatic saves, invests, and what's left. Your investments are set to buy on a schedule, dividends reinvest without asking, and you rebalance on a calendar, not a headline. When a windfall shows up, you don't negotiate with yourself. A simple split you decided in a calm moment executes the same day. Debt follows rules too. Highest interest gets priority, everything else gets minimums until it's their turn. What change isn't just the numbers, it's your headspace. Money stops being a daily debate and becomes a routine you barely think about. You get to spend what's in the spend bucket guilt-free because everything else already did its job. And with the basics handled, your energy can move to a higher leverage question. How do I create more value? That's the next quiet tell. You stop dodging hard problems and start solving them. Up next, sign 5. You solve problems other people avoid. Money follows usefulness. The people who quietly get rich aren't the loudest complainers. They're the ones who make the bottleneck disappear. At work, that looks like fixing the report everyone dreads, documenting the fuzzy process, learning the tool the team keeps dodging, or calming the client who's about to walk. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You ship a small fix, measure the impact, and share results. I noticed X. Here's a 2-week test for Y. Time cost, 3 hours. Expected result, save 4 hours weekly. That kind of proposal gets raises, referrals, and leverage. Outside work, the same reflex turns into opportunity. You spot recurring frictions, messy spreadsheets, clunky onboarding, confusing forms, and turn them into templates, checklists, or simple services people happily pay for. Keep the bets small and reversible. One solved problem often becomes a reusable asset. Solve valuable problems and you become valuable. First to your team, then to your market. And the fastest way to keep leveling that skill? Spend more time with builders. Up next, sign 6. You curate your circle on purpose. Your results started to change when your rooms did. You spend more time with builders, people who share ideas, ship projects, and hold themselves to a higher standard. Not because you're chasing clout, but because ambition is contagious. Coffee chats turn into accountability. DMs turn into introductions. You leave conversations with a book to read, a tool to try, or a clearer next step. You're intentional without being transactional. You add value first, sharing a template, a resource, a connection, before you ever ask for anything. You still keep old friends, but you limit time in rooms that normalize excuses, gossip, or spending to impress. The baseline rises, and your habits rise with it. When your circle pulls you forward, discipline gets easier, and it shows up where it matters most, doing the right thing when it's boring. Up next, sign 7. You're disciplined when it's boring. Motivation comes and goes. Your routine doesn't. You follow the plan on days with headlines and days with none. Contributions land on schedule, the budget runs the same way, and impulse purchases get a 24-hour cool-off. When markets wobble, you don't rewrite your strategy, you rebalance when the calendar says so. When income spikes or dips, your savings rate stays intact because the percentages are pre-decided, not negotiated. Discipline shows up in small, unglamorous choices. You cook at home when it's easier to tap an app. You keep the car that works instead of celebrating a raise with a payment. You close the laptop when the sprint ends so you can do it again tomorrow. No heroics, just consistency. And because your circle normalizes this, see sign 6, sticking with it feels less like willpower and more like identity. That's the quiet difference. Most people wait to feel inspired. You rely on systems. Most people chase novelty. You chase repeatability. Keep that rhythm and the results take care of themselves. Wealth doesn't arrive with confetti. It arrives as rhythm. Small choices repeated until they're hard to miss. If even 1 or 2 of these signs showed up for you, you're not guessing anymore. You're building, quietly, on purpose. Do one tiny thing before the day ends. Bump your automatic transfer by 1%, block a 45-minute skill sprint, or write a 2-line plan for your next windfall. That's how streaks start. Streaks make momentum. Momentum makes options. If this helped, tap like so it reaches the next builder. Tell me which sign hit hardest in the comments. And for the step-by-step system that locks this in, watch Payday Autopilot, 7 money flows that run themselves. See you there.